Welcome to this edition of the Nerd Enthusiast Podcast, where we're covering Drake of the 99 Dragons.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
the Xbox Series X. Please be excited,
Yes.
because it's definitely not Drake and the 99 Dragons.
Please don't run away.
No.
Come back.
Stay for a while. So we're going to be covering the new console for you guys. We just got done playing it for a while. Jenny's got her first exposure to it. I've been playing it for about a week and a half, maybe?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. We will mostly be looking at the hardware, touching on games very briefly, kind of like what we did with the PlayStation 1. If you guys watched that, hopefully you did.
Watch it now. If not.
Yes, please. So, Jenny, what are your first impressions of the Xbox Series X?
Ooh. Well, I don't have a lot of experience with Xbox, so this is honestly maybe my third or fourth time playing an Xbox.
I feel like I'm force feeding it to
Yes.
you. Like, oh, you messed with Xbox.
Yeah, I've never been an Xbox fan. I was going to say I never will be an Xbox fan, but today it honestly might have changed. All the force feeding might have worked. They say 13 times you got to eat something, and then it will, like, imprint and you'll like it. I did that with avocados. And now it's going to happen with Xbox.
Yeah. I'm getting there.
This is the avocados. I'm enjoying it. I hated it, but okay.
Hey, whatever's getting you to expand your horizons.
Yeah.
I love PlayStation. I love Nintendo, which we talked about earlier, because we have very rarely have we covered Nintendo since you and I have been together.
Never. Poor Nintendo.
So we will be covering Nintendo for you guys soon on the show. But this is not about that.
Nope.
This is about Xbox. So do you want to talk about the user interface? What were your first impressions with the console, or do you want to talk about opening the box, or where do you want to go first?
There's so many places to jump in. I would say first impressions on the box. I think that was what caught my attention. You showed that to me today.
Yes.
Oh my God. That is what a first impression should be. I didn't get that with my PlayStation. I'm really sad. I wish I got that, but that's a whole experience.
Yes,
I don't even know how to explain it. So when you get the box, it's more opens up.
It opens like almost like when you get a piece of
Yeah,
jewelry and you open like a
I was
jewelry box.
going to say like a pizza
that.
box kind of status in a way.
Pizza
yeah,
jewelry, it's on the same level.
Yeah.
If you gave my wife some jewelry, she'd be ecstatic. That'd be great. But if you gave me a pizza,
Yeah.
I would probably love you forever.
And when you open it, you kind of get that same like, oh. And there she is. And what does it say on the paper? Like,
Power your dreams.
Oh, power your dreams.
That's the tagline for the Series X and the S models.
They probably changed it up every year, huh? I guess
at least every console generation, because on 360, I believe it was jump in. But
so this one's power your dreams. Okay, I can see where they're trying to go with that. Okay.
Definitely.
But yeah, that was probably what grabbed my attention from the beginning. What about for you?
I mean, that was the initial thing. So I opened these one day apart. I opened the PlayStation first, even though I had the Series X first. I was working like an insane person for that entire week.
No fun allowed. Yeah.
No, I barely got to play those for the first few days. It sucked. But I did set them up, PlayStation, and then the next day it was Xbox, and it was like night and day. Taking the PlayStation out of the box, like you could feel how cheap and flimsy everything was. I was like, all right, I'm gonna slowly take this some bitch out the box.
Yeah.
Got it out the box, put it up. I was like, okay, cool. It's good. I'm all right.
It was like a struggle. It's kind of like you're not having fun opening the box.
It was like a delicate flower.
Yeah.
I was so afraid to break it with all the PlayStation's curves, too.
Mm-hmm.
The Xbox wasn't like that. It felt more like a sturdy product. Like, I wasn't afraid of hurting it. Like, it's like, I got you, bitch.
Yeah.
You can open me as strong as you want to.
Yep, and you can
good.
easily, like, take her out of there and be like, oh. Rather than PlayStation, you're like...
Yeah,
ripping it out of there.
Exactly. And it had this the thing around it that said "Power Your Dreams," and the whole presentation of the Xbox system was 10,000 times better than Sony's. Like, I love my PlayStation, I love my Xbox. I'm not gonna pick and choose.
Definitely not.
But the presentation of the box, Xbox wins that all day long.
Oh yeah, and that's so important. I think a lot of consoles should have that important. I don't think the Switch really had that. The PlayStation 4 never had that. I don't know if the other past Xboxes had that either.
No, I think I have an Xbox One, or like the first one that came out from like 2013, like the day one edition.
Yeah.
And then I ended up skipping the S, but I got the X. And the X definitely improved on the presentation, but not that much. This one they like went all out for. This was the best opening of a console experience I think I've ever had.
Yes, I can see that too. That is insane. I've never seen that on consoles. That's new.
Yeah, and when you're spending, $500 on a console, like you it made it feel like it was worth it.
Yes, and I think that is it really is important. I keep saying it's so important because it is. Like, you're so excited to get this. When you open it, you want to have that level of excitement. You don't want it to, like, waste away, and you're like,
It makes the system feel not as cheap either.
That
like, the
too.
PlayStation, like, even though I know it's solidly built, I'm not saying anything bad against PlayStation, it just felt like the packaging is so cheap that this must be frail. I must
you gotta be careful.
really be careful with my PlayStation. Right? Like, oh, that's great. This is great.
Right.
I can just, I'm just going to throw it on the shelf. It's good.
Yeah. But, I guess we're all talking about the box for all this time.
But it really makes
It
it's
does.
really different.
You don't understand.
Just go buy one.
Yeah,
or
and open it.
Watch a video on YouTube of somebody
Yeah.
opening their Xbox Series X. It's phenomenal.
It must be why they're doing that. For all these unboxing nowadays, everyone wants to unbox them on camera. But
maybe Xbox is smart enough to know that, like,
Yeah.
there's going to be a bunch of these we have to make our presentation, like, extra
we
special.
don't want them struggling on camera, and that's embarrassing for us. But moving on from there, I guess we'll jump into the console itself.
The design of the console?
Yeah.
What were your impressions of that?
I mean, I feel like all Xbox I've seen always look similar to me. They're always that simple brick kind of look.
Yeah.
The Xbox 360, more sleek, kind of changed it with the little curvatures in there.
Yep.
But then they jumped back into Xbox X, back into the box, right? Or Xbox One, it went right back to more.
Xbox One looked like a VCR.
Yes.
Like, I had that original model. What an awful design
Yeah.
the Xbox One was. Like, the first model, the 2013
That
model.
thick.
Ugh.
Heavy. Hated getting those.
I got to see those early. I went to a Call of Duty event in Los Angeles.
Oh, no.
And this was before the system came out. And this was back, remember, children, Call of Duty used to be aligned with Xbox, not with PlayStation.
No.
This was the last year that they were aligned with Xbox. It was when Call of Duty Ghost came out. I went to an event. I got one of the most badass t-shirts I own was from that event. Still have that
sweet.
t-shirt.
No way. Never throw it away.
Yeah, no, never. But I remember that was the first time I got to see an Xbox One in person, and I was like, holy shit, this looks terrible.
Oh, really? That was
This
your
looks
first
like a
impression?
goddamn VCR. It was huge.
Yeah, and it's just bricky and nothing futuristic
No.
about it. It's just, it looked kind of lazy.
And to be fair to Call of Duty, the game looked fine. The game played fine. Everything was cool with that. I was just like, I can't believe this is the design they chose.
Yeah.
And then the S model came out. It looked a little bit better. And then the X model came out. And I love my Series X model.
Yeah.
It's the smallest Xbox they've ever made until the Xbox Series S came out, which was, you know how they have the Series X right now and the Series S?
Okay.
I don't have a Series S.
Right.
That's the smaller model. It's less powerful. It's $300. It's digital only.
Right.
It's comparable to the PlayStation's digital only PS5. But this one has a lesser GPU, so it's not as powerful. But it's also $200 cheaper.
Yeah. That's hard to beat.
That's the smallest Xbox ever made. But the Series X, the Xbox One X used to be the smallest one ever made.
That one was kind of small though.
That's still my favorite design. I like my Series X, but the Xbox One X design is like, man, what a great system.
That was more of the one that has like the little dots on top, right?
Yeah, it has
like
that. It has that, and it has like just when you hold it, it feels like
it felt
heavy.
No, not
This one feels heavy because it's more powerful.
really. Oh.
Like it feels like a not cheap piece of tech, and that's still my favorite console design. But the Series X, what I like about it is when you look on the top of it from the side, it has that green like.
Yeah, that little.
If you're looking at it straight on, you don't see it, but if you look on a slight angle, you see the green glowing from it.
That is, it's almost like a little optical illusion, I thought too. It's so cool in there. That's awesome. But that's new for Xbox. They've never had that like rectangular.
It looks like a modem.
Yeah, modem design.
But
Mini
so does the
refrigerator.
PlayStation 5.
It does.
Just different modems.
But in comparison together, I still think I prefer the PlayStation 5. It has more of that like futuristic design. Some might call it over the top, but I prefer that. I feel like I'm getting more plastic for my money. And Xbox is going more minimalistic.
I agree with you because my systems are laying on their side.
Yeah.
If I had them both standing up, my PlayStation would have that awkward hump because it has a disk drive.
Oh, yeah.
And my Xbox would just look like sleek and like standing tall.
All nice and minimalist.
So if you're gonna lay both systems down, I think that the PlayStation looks better.
Definitely.
If you're gonna stand them up, I think the Xbox hands down has it. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. And I think the Xbox will like kind of fit better into people's households weirdly than a PlayStation would.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's more of like it's more of a square design that's tall than just.
And it just looks
the
like
beast, man. The PlayStation. I don't know how to describe a PlayStation controller. It's huge.
too. It's just so like obscure too. Like sitting on your table, it's like a piece of art. You're like, I don't know what I'm looking at. This fancy modem. Whereas the Xbox, you'll just walk by it and be like,
You won't even notice
Not
the Xbox.
eye-catching.
But the PlayStation, you're like, what the hell is that thing?
Yeah, what is that beast?
She big.
Oh yeah.
What about the controller? The controller is not much different from an Xbox One controller. The D-pad, like I told you, has changed, and there is more of a grip to it.
Yeah, more texture.
Texture, thank you.
Yeah, similar to the PlayStation. Very similar.
Very similar to the PlayStation's 5 DualSense. Yeah,
controller. I don't believe the PlayStation 5 though had that texture on the grips, which was actually very nice.
On the triggers.
To see. Oh, I'm sorry, the triggers. and the bumpers. Oh, look at
Jenny
me
just
knowing
learned what a bumper
Xbox
is today.
lingo.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I think that is honestly great to have too. I get slippery fingers. Sweaty finger gamer over here.
It's nice having those grips all over the place. I definitely love that about the controller. And the biggest difference, you played with an Xbox One controller because we played that not too long ago. Did you like the D-pad more? What did you think about the D-pad?
I don't really use the D-pad, I noticed. I'm more of a joystick person.
These children.
Yup, I'm joystick all the way. D-pad is good for like those like minuscule movements you need I feel with the D-pad. He's triggered. Oh no.
Let me help out all you old guys out. D-pad is 20, 30, 40, 50 times better than the Xbox One. The D-pad is vastly improved. It's more clicky. It feels more
clicky.
It's like rounded, but I can't even describe it to you because being rounded, it should feel worse, but it actually feels way better. It feels more accurate. It feels like it's doing what you want to do.
Okay, I wouldn't have been able to tell a difference honestly from the jump there.
This is why you guys watch this. Look, you're getting a younger person's perspective and you're getting an older person's perspective. Yeah. I agree that most people your age or younger wouldn't have even touched the goddamn D-pad, but I was all over that shit.
Were you?
Yes. And the D-pad is vastly improved.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't even use it on my PlayStation controller either. Never really use that. Just single tier.
I don't use it all the time. Let me explain this to you. I've adapted. I don't use it all the time, but it is better for certain games.
Well, I was gonna ask, what do you use it for?
When we were playing Streets of Rage 4, I used both the D-pad and the analog stick, and I think it was probably playing better with the D-pad.
Really?
Yeah, very good.
Maybe more for that arcade style.
Yeah,
game.
man.
Okay.
Like if you're playing like an old school like 2D game, that D-pad is probably the way to go.
That's true. Okay. You make a fair argument.
But
like for a shooter, you won't like do any of that. No.
Oh no!
Imagine.
No, I'm not gonna touch that D-pad for a shoot. I didn't even know what shooters would use
that's
D-pad.
True too.
Like, no, you ain't even using this shit.
They'd be like, you gotta stop.
No. But if you're using like a side scroller, like that's probably the way to go.
More for that.
But I'm also older than you. Like you grew up on analog sticks.
Yeah.
I grew up on D-pads.
Oh, that's true.
So
like
I'm
Nintendo,
I'm always
that.
like, what's that D-pad going to do?
Yeah, what are you gonna play in this?
Right. Well, you're like,
yeah.
What the fuck is a D-pad? You're like,
right. Yeah. I'm like, it does the same thing as the analog stick.
Right.
There's no point.
I'm just gonna use this because I've been using this for forever now. The other thing, so real quick, should we compare this now or you want to do it later?
Let's compare it now. Let's do it.
Before we move on, the controller. Comparing this to, I know you haven't used an Elite controller, right? So we can't compare it to that.
No, not really.
All right, so we're gonna leave Elite controllers off the table. This controller compared to the PlayStation 5's DualSense controller, what do you like better and why?
What do I like better? Like how you set that up. I honestly feel like there's a very fine line there. It's so similar to me. I always have been PlayStation. I thought I would love PlayStation. I thought I would jump on this Xbox, hold the controller again, and be like, here we freaking go. I hate holding this. It feels chunky. It feels thick.
Can I interrupt you?
Oh.
Did you feel the same way? The way you're describing about the Xbox One controller?
Jumping to the Xbox One?
Yeah, were you like,
I hated, yes.
Okay.
I that was one of the least favorite things I would do when getting on Xbox. But
this controller.
Yeah, but with this controller, jumping from the PS5 controller, it is very similar and very easily able to adapt to. I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with speed. I didn't have a problem with sizing in my hand. Having smaller hands, I always find my hands kind of cramping up too with the Xbox controller, which I didn't like. I was perfectly fine.
Why? Why do you think? Anyways?
I just think it was just the ergonomics of it. How they set it up was always fine. They didn't change anything from the original Xbox there, no? The controller
really
is very
grip,
similar, just with the texturing.
Really just the grip. Yeah, the texturing, the grip is really the only thing they changed. It feels very... And the D-pad. But you didn't use that, but that doesn't matter.
But other than that, yeah, I wouldn't notice anything. I wish I got to play more in-depth games with it. Maybe like some rhythm games, something a little more speed, where I really do notice more of my hand slipping off maybe the analog stick more, or I'll notice a delay with the buttons. I would need to play something a little more in-depth to really tell. We're
going to get into that soon about which games we played and why.
Yeah.
So this is like... So PlayStation has obviously changed their controller quite a bit. Do you think that PlayStation has adapted their controller to be more like Xbox's controller, and that's why you like it more? Or do you think Xbox's controller has been more adapted to the PlayStation controller?
I think the PlayStation has been more adapted to the Xbox.
100% in my opinion.
Which is great. I think it's great because now everyone can kind of be playing the same games on the same... It's like, why were we separating ourselves? Why are we having these fights? Let's all love each other. Like, that's what it's coming to.
Yeah, I think it's because of the grip. I think the grip just makes you feel more at home.
Yes.
And you're just like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
Where before it was like, oh, this is different. But because they both are so, like, grippy.
Yeah, grippy.
they're both so grippy
that
they feel very similar. Obviously there's some differences. The PlayStation has like the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers and stuff.
Right.
But when you just grab it and if you're not paying attention, it's just like, okay, I got this. Right?
Yeah, you'll just feel it more. Yeah.
And the offset thumbsticks are obviously, you know, that's something big with Xbox, different with PlayStation. Yeah, I agree. I think this is very easy to jump into.
Yeah, I think it's great we're all getting the console worlds all together now. I feel Xbox is similar to PlayStation, and then PlayStation's controllers are kind of getting similar to like Nintendo moments, kind of.
Yeah,
with the Pro controllers and such. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all
Nintendo's Pro controller is great. It's probably one of the best controllers Nintendo has ever made.
Really? Oh.
Their Joy-Cons are absolute trash.
Yeah.
But their Pro controller is solid.
Yeah, I think we're all getting on the same page now. It's gonna be cool for the future of games.
This controller.
Yes.
Just like the Xbox One controller and the 360 before, it takes 2 AA batteries, or you can buy a rechargeable battery pack with a charge cable, or there's various third-party solutions where you can buy like a dock and charge it on a dock with extra batteries. Do you like that?
I hate batteries.
Okay. You hate batteries.
Instantly. I hate batteries. I never understood. I'm interested to see why you like batteries.
I'm gonna tell you about we didn't just get into discussions.
This is gonna get a moment with batteries.
We were making a list of pros and cons.
Yeah.
And her con was the batteries, and my pro was the batteries. So we haven't discussed this yet. But before I get into my why I like the batteries, why do you not like the batteries?
I hate buying batteries. I hate having batteries. I hate having to worry about batteries. I hate having to be like, okay, I'm out of batteries. Now I gotta go find a remote with batteries to put and gut out of those to put into those. Whereas
you're speaking of like AA batteries.
Yeah, AA. Isn't that what the Xbox uses?
Well, you can buy the
they're plug and play.
The plug and play kit.
Yeah. See, but then why don't they just make it chargeable from the beginning? That's what I don't get.
So here's my pro, why I like it.
Okay.
I collect video games. These things are... I make them last as long as I possibly can before I have to replace them or get them repaired or something like that. When you have a rechargeable battery in a PlayStation controller, when that rechargeable battery permanently dies, that controller is useless until I get it repaired. With an Xbox controller, swap out the batteries. I can go out of my way and I can find a rechargeable battery that'll be compatible with it, or I can just grab 2 AA batteries, throw them in, and my controller will still work.
Oh, so you hate the whole waiting for your controller to charge?
No, I'm talking about lifeblood. So let's talk about
okay.
5 years from now.
Yeah.
Where your battery in your PlayStation controller is just completely fucking dead.
Right.
You can't recharge it anymore. You literally have to take the controller apart and replace the internal battery with another rechargeable battery in order to repair it. I don't have to worry about that on Xbox.
But I feel like by 5 years already, you're just going to get a new controller.
Yes. Let's get it. All right, let's bring out the old
Yeah,
man.
he's like, all right.
Let's talk about 10 years from now when they're not making those controllers anymore.
Okay.
The only option you have is to learn how to take the controller apart, replace the battery yourself, or find somebody who can do it and pay them to do it for you.
Yeah.
Whereas my Xbox controller, guess what I can do? Just take off the back, pop in 2 AA batteries. Good.
I don't know. I feel like your controller's not going to last those 5 years to that extent.
That's
think it will.
Fair argument.
If you're using it
that is
so
a very
often,
fair argument.
if you're using it so often that you need to keep changing your batteries, it's not going to last, homie.
Look, the truth is, being a retro collector, you're gonna have to do two things. You're gonna have to either pay somebody that knows what they're doing to fix your shit that breaks, or you're gonna have to learn how to do it yourself.
That's true. I mean, I'm thinking like from my Kingdom Hearts. I have to throw in some Kingdom Hearts. My Kingdom Hearts Pro controller, I have the Pro system has the controller with it. The PS4 Pro. I'm sorry.
So you were able to get that system? That system was like very limited, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
oh, shit.
And then as you're talking about controllers,
that was the Kingdom Hearts 3
system. Yeah.
PS4 Pro.
PS4 Pro.
And that had
Kingdom
a special controller.
Has a special controller
Did
with
not know
it.
that.
Yes.
I knew the system.
Yeah, and that's my biggest fear when you're saying like as a collector, when that dies, who's gonna fix it?
Right.
And now I'm like, oh my god, that's so true. Like, and my buttons are already getting a little sticky,
Look,
and now I'm like, oh.
the honest thing is, your controller will always be fine, but you just need to find somebody who is reliable and who can make the repair.
And that's horrifying to think about too. It's true. Right. Yeah. I'm like,
so
who am I gonna trust?
Let's say you bought a new controller, it was like $60 or $70. You might have to pay another $60 or $70 to ship it somewhere. Someone to install a new battery and to ship it back to you.
Yeah, and that's hoping the person doesn't scam me or steal it
There's
or break it.
Or you need to find a reputable
that's
person.
True. I'd
that's
be
all.
so scared. That's true. But I mean,
so that fear you have,
yes, I can
is
understand
like
that.
what I have with everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, when is this shit gonna break? Who's gonna fix it?
And how am I gonna get it fixed? Yeah.
Am I gonna start? I might reach a breaking point where I'm like, I'm gonna start YouTubing shit and how to fix shit myself. Like,
that's what I was thinking too.
Like, my most sacred system that I have is probably my Sega Genesis.
Oh wow!
And the only reason for that is because it's the oldest system I have that's an original. I have other Nintendos, I've had other stuff, but that is the system I have since I was a child.
Yeah. Wow.
And what happens is with those old systems, the capacitors will break and start leaking and can cause major damage to the system. I've never recapped the capacitors on that. And I know that time is coming soon. And my choice is going to have to be, do I buy some sort of modded Genesis that can play my games better, which I already have with the analog. So now my choice is, do I even bother? Do I just keep my analog, which plays my games better? It plays them in 1080p.
Just play that from now on.
Or does that nostalgia kick in and I'm like,
I want to play the OG, yeah.
my original, my system.
Yeah, that's what it comes to.
Do I ship that out to somebody? Do I pay them $100 to recap the system, ship it back to me, and have the whole process done? Or do I reach a point where I'm like, I need to fix all my shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn how to do this myself.
I feel like, oh no. And I think actually that's what systems nowadays need to figure out too.
And look, every system is gonna have a dead. They're gonna have a death.
Oh, that's so sad.
And you will need to have a repair at some point.
Yeah.
Or the replacement.
All systems die.
They will. Everything's gonna die. You're either gonna need to get replaced or repaired, and those are the decisions you have to make. Do you pay somebody to repair it? Do you learn how to repair it yourself, or do you scrap it and buy a new one? Yeah. Which is also gonna need to get repaired at some point in time.
Yeah. It's a lose-lose.
Look, really, you're younger than me. This is the thoughts that go through my head constantly.
Oh no.
Imagine like you had your PS3.
Yeah.
You your PS3.
Yep.
Your Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, just dying.
Completely gone. It's not available in any other system. I know that it is, so I'm kind of making part of this up. Well, let's just say it's not available on any other system. What are you going to do?
I know, right? Just cry. Never know where to find anything.
Right. If they never re-release Kingdom Hearts on another system, You have to have a PS3 controller to play it. Your PS3 controller breaks. What are you going to do?
Oh my god. Oh
You're going to have to replace it.
Yeah.
You're gonna, your system breaks. You're going to have to replace it. You're going to have to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Wow.
Not to get down, everybody.
Dang,
the
I'm
thoughts
all
that go through
sad.
my
I'm
head.
like, all my systems are gonna die. Wake up call.
Eventually, it will happen.
Take care of your systems the best you can.
Yes, keep them and take care of them as long as you
Yeah.
possibly can.
That is so important.
Get your capacitors fixed, which I need to do. That was a long conversation about batteries. I'm sorry, guys.
Freaking batteries.
That turned into something totally different. Wasn't ready for that.
But after you get your console out of there,
Yeah. Go buy and plug a plug and play kit. I
Yes.
recommend using them. Jenny's upset that they don't come with them. I am happy that they don't because I can just put in regular batteries in the future. Those decisions are up to you, though.
Yeah, whatever's most convenient.
Exactly. I definitely love my PlayStation's controllers because I can recharge them. But when they die, there will be tears.
That's also nice. I mean, that is a perk. It leaves it up to the player's choice if they want to keep it charged, don't want to charge it. Yeah.
I can understand both arguments, so
Nope.
I'm good either
Me
way.
too.
So what do you do first? Plugged in your system. What needs to get done on an Xbox? You either need to have fresh batteries or you plug your plug and play kit in right away, charge up your controller. That's obvious. We talked
Right.
about that. I'm not going to get any more into that. Make sure you have fresh batteries or you plug that sumbitch in.
Right.
Second step, setting up your TV. I'm not going to go into a long conversation, just like I did on PlayStation. But you guys, if you want to get the most out of these consoles, you need to optimize your specific television to the console. Google your TV, set it up the best way you can for gaming, and move on from there. Now we're going to hop into transferring stuff. PlayStation, I went on a rant about transferring because it's still not available to transfer from a hard
To
drive.
this day.
There's other things you can do on a PlayStation to PS4 to PS5 to transfer your stuff, like an Ethernet cable,
Right.
or doing the upload download via PlayStation Plus. But I have all my shit on hard drives, so let's talk about transferring stuff. You don't have an Xbox Series X or an Xbox
Nope.
One, but I do, so I'll briefly touch on this. This is what happened when I turned on my Series X. I unplugged my hard drives from my Xbox One. I did some research first, so I knew what the hell I was doing.
Oh, that's good.
Just so you guys know.
Yeah.
I didn't just fucking do this like, oh, I'm
See what happens.
gonna play guessing games. Let me plug in this shit to
Good.
my $500 system and see if I can break something.
Do your research.
No, I knew what I was doing, so I unplugged my hard drive. I first went into my. This took a couple days.
Oh, really?
I went into my Xbox One X, and I moved everything over. Everything that was in my internal hard drives, I moved to my 2 external hard drives. So every game, everything got moved over onto those.
Okay.
So when I was finally ready to set up my Series X, I unplugged those from my I unplugged those from my Xbox One X, disconnected my One X completely because I knew I wouldn't need it anymore. Plugged these 2 hard drives into my Series X, turned it on, the startup went on, and all my games were there.
Oh. Bada bing, bada boom.
That was it. That was the headache I went through with Xbox. Which was, I could have been sipping a martini, not worrying about a
Yeah.
goddamn thing in the world. Everything was totally fine. Everything was easy.
Easy, simple.
The only inconvenience was that the new hard drive is extremely fast. And if you want to optimize your games, you do need to move your games onto the internal hard drive, which we had to do earlier with Gears of War. I moved over Gears of War today. It was a 75 gigabyte patch
Yeah.
for that beast to
Huge.
play with the optimized version on the Series X.
Yeah.
So just know that it is very easy to transfer stuff if you have a hard drive. However, you will need to put that on your internal. And once you put it on the internal, that's what's going to
That's gonna be
initiate
that wait,
the Series
yeah.
X time for the patch to install. So whatever you want to move over, move that over, get your patch installed. But my God, why was this not the same for PlayStation?
If it was, oh my God. And you're not even going to use your Xbox One anymore, right? Really?
No, my Xbox. I have
Oh,
a presentation of systems
Oh
to my left, which you guys cannot see.
God.
And my Series X, most of those are actually have systems inside of them at this point,
Oh.
but not my PS4.
Yo.
My PS4 box is still empty because my PS4 is still hooked up, waiting for the hard drive transfer to happen.
But once you transfer it, is it just going to
Once
go
I
in the
transfer
box?
it, my PS4 will return to that box and will stay there until the day I decide to play PT.
Mm-hmm.
Since Konami's a bunch of bastards and won't allow me to play PT
on anything else or
My
ever
PS5.
again. Yep. But do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing that they make you put away your old systems and force you into this new generation?
As I said earlier, always keep your old systems. There's always a reason you're going to go back to them at some point.
Right.
It may not be something apparent to you. It may be like 10 years from now, but you'll be like, oh, I want that old system for whatever reason.
If you're sentimental and all that, I'd say.
Don't get rid of your hardware. Get rid
Yeah.
of your games. Whatever you don't want, that's fine. Don't get rid of your hardware.
Yeah, that's true.
So no, I have no problem putting this thing away. I'm not sad about it. I'm totally cool with it because PS5 is backwards compatible with PS4. I can play like 98% of my PS4 games on my PS5.
The PS5 easy.
I got my adapter for my PSVR.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good, children.
Oh yeah, you got
good.
So lucky. I'm still waiting for mine. Soon.
You'll get it soon.
Yes.
So no, I'm totally cool with the way it is.
User interface. Did you like it or not?
If you guys have played on a updated Xbox One on any fashion, it could be an Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One S. Did I say it already? Lost track of S. Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X.
Yeah.
You played on any of the Xbox Ones, and you've updated your software. It looks exactly the same. There is nothing that's like,
that was similar.
oh my god, this is mind-blowingly different. No, it is exactly the same. You wouldn't even notice the difference other than that the menus are unbelievably fast. That's the big improvement. Do I like it? Yeah, it's fine. It works.
Just like a shrug, like nothing crazy about it.
Nope, more of the same, which totally works for me. I know where everything is in the Xbox. There's a divisive community as to who likes the Xbox interface more than the PlayStation one. I like them both. I think they're both totally fine, and this is doable. What did you think, since you're not as familiar with Xbox?
I think it was pretty simple. I always felt a little overwhelmed when I would go on like the Xbox 360s, and you would like get all your users and you'd see the little like characters and you're like swiping around
the avatars.
And all that used to like overwhelm me for some reason.
It was confusing. This is more streamlined than it's ever been, to be fair.
Yeah, and this is like this is the easiest I've navigated through an Xbox. I'm like, oh, it feels like Netflix. Like, here you go. This is where I want to go. Here's the store. It's so simple.
So if you haven't seen it before, you basically there's a whole bunch of menus that you scroll down on. Before they used to be like left or right. It used to be way more confusing, but now it's just like scroll down and you have some options. And the only other options that are in there is if you hit the middle X button on your controller, the one that's lit up, that'll give you some other options that aren't on display.
Right.
But the main stuff you're going to use is already on there and you just scroll down to them.
Yeah. Very similar to the PlayStation, I'd say too.
Yeah, only PlayStation's is left to right instead of up to down.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
So was it improved? No, it's exactly the same. Is anything worse in comparison to Xbox One X? No, it's exactly the same. One thing that I do like PlayStation over is that PlayStation has themes.
Right, customization. I appreciate that.
So with Xbox, when you turn on, like, whatever the last game you were done playing, which was for us was I think Ori and the Blind Forest or Will of the Wisps.
Yeah. When
you turn your Xbox back on, there will be like a Ori background to it, but it's not a custom background that I chose. It's nothing like that. It's just whatever your last, thing was.
Yeah, last one.
Losing my voice. Sorry. And if you restart your Xbox, it's just a basic like green background.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer PlayStation's, 10-1 over Xbox.
It has that little sparkle. I think PlayStation has always had that though.
Definitely.
Yeah.
More charismatic.
Charismatic.
Then we played a couple of games. We didn't get a lot of time with the system. I've played it more than Jenny has, but we're just going to talk about the time that we had today with the system itself. So there's a couple games that we got to play. I'm going to rattle off. Why do you keep saying rat off? That's not even a thing. I'm going to
ratting them off. Yeah.
I'm going to rat off some
rat
games
on
for
these
you guys.
games right now.
These are launch
Oh,
launch games. Most of these games were old games that have been upgraded, but some of them some of them are true launch games. So let's run through this real quick. Assassin's Creed Valhalla was a launch game. They had a partnership with Microsoft, and they have the better version of the game, apparently. I don't think there's a huge difference, but definitely the advantage is going to go to Xbox in this category. Yakuza Like a Dragon. Very strange game.
Yeah.
Already been on PlayStation in Japan since January of 2020.
Yep.
So like almost a year. They finally got it onto, out in the US and the Americas. And Xbox Series X and Series S. Well, let's just say Xbox exclusive because it's on Xbox One also.
Right.
For 4 months. First time in Yakuza's history. Has always been a PlayStation exclusive until now.
Right.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Microsoft just must have claimed it first or something. But I wonder.
There are rumors, Jenny.
Really?
That they are buying Sega.
Oh, that's tea. That is tea.
It is just rumors for now, but I think that would be both great for Xbox and for Sega. Obviously, it wouldn't be great for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
All
but
of those exclusives. Ooh.
Xbox has a history of still releasing games on PlayStation, but I love Sega so much, and like to see them have like an unlimited budget would make me so happy.
That's so true.
Oh man.
There'd be a lot of potential there for Sega too. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay.
It would be the same if Sony was to buy Sega.
I thought that's
they
where
would
they would
also
go
give
first.
them like an unlimited potential.
Yeah.
So I'd be totally cool with either one, but seeing like Xbox align with them, if that actually happens, I'll be so stoked.
Yeah. We'll see where it goes. Yeah.
We'll definitely see where it goes, but that's very interesting that it's only on Xbox for about 4 months, and then will be coming to PS5 later on.
Right.
Gears Tactics was another big exclusive for them. I don't like tactical games. Jenny doesn't care about tactical games. If you care about tactical games, it's supposed to be great. I hope you enjoy it. Tetris Effect Connected is an old game which got basically co-op play. That's cool. Falconeer was an exclusive. Don't know much about that. Dirt 5 is obviously a racing game, but that's on PS5 and Xbox One. Observer, I think it's called System Redux, is on Xbox One and PS5. NBA 2K21, that was made from the ground up on these systems. That's probably the most important game to get if you want to see what a true next-gen game looks like. It's the only game that I can think of that was built from the ground up for Xbox and PS5.
Of all the games.
Of all the games, that's probably the one to get, to be honest.
Wow.
There's some other smaller titles enlisted. Evergate, Cuisine Royale, Bright Memory. Who cares? There's more here. No one cares. The ones I mentioned are the one that people care about, at least somewhat. And the launch lineup is pretty weak. Yeah. It's pretty weak.
I mean, PlayStation 5 was pretty weak, honestly, as well, if I'm being honest. But
it's a personal opinion, because I've heard some people say PlayStation 5 had the greatest lineup ever. And I completely disagree with that. I thought it was very weak also.
Me too. I don't think there was anything for people to... Well, PlayStation did have Miles Morales.
It did have Spider-Man.
It did have Spider-Man. And that was that could be put to the PlayStation 5's full potential there.
Yeah.
I don't think this had anything. Xbox didn't have anything for that. That's
I mean, Xbox was banking on Halo, and then they pushed back Halo, and this is what you're left with, guys.
Yep, and there we go. So it could wait. I would say until Halo came out. Then I'd say go grab your Xbox for this.
For sure. So the games we got to play were Ori. We played an upgraded version of Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is the new version of that. We played Streets of Rage 4, which was actually not an upgraded version. We just happened to play that.
Yeah.
Because it was on Game Pass. And we're going to talk about Game Pass with that. So before we get into that, what did you think about Ori? How did you like Ori? Because this is another Metroidvania, which, if you guys don't know, Jenny played her first Metroidvania maybe a month or two ago?
Yep, for Castlevania.
In October.
Yep, October. And it never has been something I've enjoyed, if I'm, again, being honest. I hate going back. I guess, I don't want to say overthinking, but hey, you got to remember this. And I'm like, that's too much for my brain. I'm trying to already focus on this. Now I got to remember to go here.
I'm trying to help her, guys. I'm trying to get her to utilize the map. And once you utilize that map constantly, it'll make your life so much easier.
Yeah, but I really appreciate everything else to the game. Ignoring the Metrovania style of the game, I appreciate the art, the characters, the story, the gameplay, the upgrades. You get you feel rewarded playing this game. I feel rewarded running through. It's like, okay, you hated that, but hey, here's this awesome sword. And now you're a G. Oh, you did this? Now you can stick on walls. Like, at least you're getting rewarded for it, which I appreciate.
It is. The when you get an upgrade in Ori, it's like, it's almost like a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I have a weapon?
Yeah.
Oh, thank
That's
God.
going to make this so much easier.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then it's like, you kind of appreciate what you did. It's like, yeah, I did that without a sword.
For sure.
It was all easy. It's a great game, though. Over the top music. I think that was my favorite thing of the whole thing. And the art itself, these little characters, I'm getting all attached to everyone. I care for them. I don't want anyone to be hurt. I don't know what's going to happen next.
Ori will pull on the heartstrings, that's for sure.
Beautiful game. Great for anyone. Played great on the Xbox, surprisingly.
We played on the Series X, and we got some upgrades. So just so you guys know, the game can do 120 frames per second. However, my TV can't handle 120 frames per second. So the nice thing about Xbox is when you pop in one of these optimized for Xbox games, it will recognize what settings your TV has and ask you if you want to optimize into those settings. So even though I couldn't do 120, I was able to do 60 frames per second, which is better than the normal 30 frames per second. So that's one upgrade that I got. The second upgrade that I got was it would upgrade it to 6K. Now I have a 4K TV, so it's not going to do true 6K, but it is going to like upscale it to 4K. So I mean, this is like the best settings I could possibly get without going out to the store and buying a brand new TV today.
Yeah.
And it shows. I mean, I think this is the best looking game I probably have seen thus far out of all the new generations. What do you think?
I can agree with that.
What do you think looked better?
I don't know. I feel like Astro's Playroom on the PlayStation 5 played so beautifully too, though. But in a sense of, are you talking like
played well? I'm talking about the looks
just
of the
looks
graphics
and visuals. I mean, based on your TV, my TV is a little lower specs and all that.
But you saw Astro on my TV too, didn't you?
No.
No?
I didn't.
Okay.
No.
All right.
So it's a little hard to compare, but I can say honestly that ran beautifully on the Xbox. Smooth. I wouldn't say any problems. There were times, I love when a game, like, there's times where you don't know the difference between a cutscene and when you're playing.
Yeah.
Like, I had that a few times, and I was like,
oh my, am I in the game?
I should move. Yeah. And that's when you know it's good quality.
Hell yes. Love it for that reason.
Yeah.
There's many good things to love about Ori. The story, the art, like all the things that Jenny already mentioned. And then we decided to hop into Streets of Rage 4 just to mix things up. Jenny's boyfriend was here, so we got to experience a 3-player game of Streets of Rage 4. We went back and we played Streets of Rage 2.
Yeah.
Man, what was that? Back in August?
Ooh, yeah.
August or September?
I was going to say maybe September.
We played Streets of Rage 2.
It's been a while.
It was just
one
Jenny
of
and
the
I.
first games, too.
Yeah, it was. We played some classic old school stuff. So this was nice jumping back into Streets of Rage 4. What did you think about Streets of Rage 4?
Beautiful. Beautiful
nice.
music. Beautiful art again. Comparison to like the past one we played. What was that on? I'm sorry.
It was on Xbox One, but it was Streets of Rage 2. That was originally made for the Sega Genesis.
Was it? Okay. In comparison to that, obviously it ran a lot better.
It looked better. It ran
better. It ran better. The characters
updated soundtrack.
Yeah, updated soundtrack. It was great. I honestly had so much fun. I wish we could have played more. It was great.
Our time was limited today. We probably played that for about a half an hour.
Yeah.
I could have easily poured another 3 hours into that game and not even realize that 3 hours of time had passed.
And easy to set up too, easy to jump into.
Oh yeah, loaded super quick.
You threw on that third controller with ease to your Xbox, which was nice too.
That's another nice feature about Xbox, guys. So that third controller we threw on, we have two Xbox, like the newer controllers for the Series S and the Series X, and we used one for the third player, an old controller. Instantly synced up, instantly worked. There was no problems or anything.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something to look forward to. Is your old controllers will work on Xbox, the new Xbox.
I don't think they would show any troubles either.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
And then going from there, we checked out Game Pass, which was very interesting for you. I'm familiar with Game Pass. Game Pass is really the reason that Xbox is like telling you to buy an Xbox. Like this is the reason you need an Xbox is because of Game Pass. where you can download all the games, you can immediately play them. It's like a Netflix style subscription, which, to be fair, PlayStation has PlayStation Now.
Right.
But I don't usually hear good things about PlayStation Now. I was going to say,
I've never heard anything good about PlayStation Now, and that's the whole reason I've never got it.
and the reverse is, I've never heard anything bad about Xbox's Game Pass.
I've never heard anything bad, too. True.
So, the Streets of Rage game was a Game Pass game, and you got to see the library that's currently available as of November 22nd, 2020. What did you think about Game Pass and its offerings?
Ooh. Highlight of the system. Overall, if I were to buy an Xbox, Game Pass would be the reason why. Just because I am so lazy. I never finish a game. And I always feel like I'm buying games nowadays, $60 games, and never finishing them. Whereas if I had Game Pass this whole time for my kind of lifestyle, it would have been amazing.
You just hop in, hop out.
Yeah,
like, cool,
pop in, hop out.
It out.
Oh no, it went away. Hey, that gives me a reason to start something else rather than me being like, oh, maybe I'll play it again soon. And then I don't play anything.
It's truly like Netflix, where you're like, you watch a show and you're like, oh, I'll try this. And you watch it and you're like, I didn't really like that. But there's like 18 million other things to do, so you're like, I'll check this out.
And
instead.
You can just jump back and forth. You don't have to stand up, go grab a disc. Maybe this one. Or convenience all the way.
100%.
I want to buy an Xbox because of that.
That's awesome.
And it had Kingdom Hearts on Game Pass.
It had it had all of them actually. It had the one in
it
2
had
combo.
1.5, 2.5,
yes,
2.8, and Kingdom Hearts 3. I saw all that.
Everything was there for
Everything is there. Go buy an Xbox and play Kingdom Hearts.
There you go. So that was our experience with some of the games. That was Game Pass. Obviously, she's never even seen what Game Pass looked like, so there's your testimony.
Yeah.
If you don't have an Xbox and you don't have Game Pass, you should probably go buy Game Pass.
Yes.
Because it's awesome.
I don't know why you would have an Xbox and not have Game Pass.
For sure. So let's ask the hard question now. Is it time for people to upgrade their console from whether it was a PS4 or an Xbox One, whichever Xbox One or whichever PS4, to a Series X? Is it time for them to upgrade, and why?
Yes and no for me.
Okay.
If you're going from PlayStation 4 or below, and that's all you have, I would say people should upgrade to an Xbox, like X Series, if they can. Or
Why?
even an Xbox One, just because of Game Pass and all of the games that are available there
That's crazy.
now. That are ready for you.
This is coming from a PlayStation
yes, from
person.
a PlayStation, like, fangirl all the way. Ugh.
That's nuts.
If you are going to upgrade now and you need to upgrade now, I would upgrade to Xbox. I would not upgrade to PS5. Absolutely not. There's nothing there yet. There's nothing there for you to play. You're going to get that experience, and then you're going to be like, well, now what? There's nothing else to do. And that's what's happened, unfortunately, with my PS5. I'm like, well, now what?
Right, you're just waiting for something.
I just looked at a whole library of games I could be playing, and I don't get to do that. It's a little sad.
I definitely understand that.
But if you have an Xbox One, I don't think there's a jump there. There was no jump from the Xbox One to the Xbox X. I don't see the point there.
Again, just like our conversation with PlayStation, you are 100% correct in my opinion. I had an Xbox One X. I have a Series X. I would say this. Going from a 2013 original Xbox model, Jesus God, get that out of your house and get a new system as soon as you... I don't care if it's PlayStation.
Love yourself, yeah.
I don't care if it's a Switch or an Xbox. If you have an original PlayStation 4, you get that shit out of your house as fast as you possibly can and go get yourself a PS4 Pro, a PS5, an Xbox Series, whatever you can get. Those old systems, they old at this point.
They are.
They load slow. I can't take them.
They don't look good anymore. You won't be playing them to their full like capacity. Just throw it away. Or don't throw it away. I'm sorry. We don't throw away systems here. Put it in a box.
Put it in a box and maybe you'll need it in the future.
Yeah.
If you have an Xbox One X, like I did, and I upgraded to a Series X, everything loads faster. There's quick resume, which I'll talk about in just a second, very briefly. But there's really... Everything is the same. Game Pass is still there. Almost all the same games are still there for you. Now is not the time if you have an Xbox One X. It is not the time. You can wait. If you want a feature like quick resume... which I'll talk about right now. That's, this generation is a lot of it's about convenience. It's about how fast you can hop into shit. The PS5 loads extremely fast. It downloads faster. The Xbox One downloads faster. Quick resume is the best thing that Xbox has, minus Game Pass. If you were to take away Game Pass, quick resume is the best thing that Microsoft has right now.
Yeah.
So Jenny played her own file in Ori and the Will o' the Wisps. We went back. We played like Doom or something. We played Streets of Rage. We started loading Doom. Doom was a whole other thing. We're not gonna talk about that right now.
Triggered.
But we went in and we played Streets of Rage for like probably half an hour. And then we went right back to Ori to see if the quick resume feature would work. And when it does work, there's an option on the right side of the screen. It says quick resume. Right. It just says it like, boom, game is going to quick resume. Jenny, what happened when we did quick resume?
We quick resumed.
Oh my God.
It was so amazing.
A screen popped up. It said Ori and the Will o' the Wisps. We looked at it like, oh, okay. It says quick resume. What's going to happen? And about 5 seconds later, we were exactly back where we were.
Right where we were. And we're like, didn't we just open Doom? Didn't we just like try and download all these things?
It doesn't matter what you've done before.
It did not care.
As long as you do not quit out of the game, it'll go right back to where you were if the game has that capability.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
It is. I mean, PlayStation kind of, again, has that little similarity.
PlayStation has extremely fast load times.
They did, and I noticed that with the PS5. I was able to jump back into my games, which was one of my perks for the PS5. But that's different. You said you could do that with multiple applications too, right?
You could have like 5 games doing quick resume at the same time.
Amazing. You're never going to turn off games again.
Nope, there's no need to.
Absolutely amazing.
Hit a save point, use quick resume, don't close the app, and you're good to go.
Yep.
That's all you got to do. So those are some reasons why you guys might want to upgrade now. If you were comparing to the PS5 to the Xbox Series X, we do not have an Xbox Series S, so that's why this has been excluded from the conversation. The only difference is the Xbox Series S has a lesser GPU, so it's not as powerful graphically. It does still have things like quick resume. It does still have many of the features, but it's not graphically as impressive as the Series X. But we're not talking about that. We're only talking about the Series X compared to the PS5, which is like power versus power. How do you compare them? Does one top the other? Why does that top the other?
Wow. I feel like it is actually really hard to compare these guys. They surprise me in the sense they're so different too. The way they came out, they're similar but different. And I still think the Xbox really tops in this generation right now. In the sense, I almost want to take that back. I almost want to take it back.
But wait, let's be honest. I want to be brutally honest with people. That's my main goal of our channel and everything we do. Let's be brutally honest. Take your PlayStation love away for just a second.
I'm trying to strip her away.
And just be honest.
Yeah.
If you were to spend the money on the system, if you were to go and spend $500 on a system right now, knowing what you know, what would you likely spend your money on and why?
Oh my God. There's 2 ways again, though. I have such a love for that experience and fun and like trying the new thing. I would spend $500 just for that experience because I'm like that and I love PlayStation. But in the sense of getting your money's worth, Xbox all the way. You're gonna get your full money's worth. You got your Netflix, your Hulu, you got all your games. You're set. That's a set system. PlayStation is just that experience at this point right now.
I can very much agree to that. For someone who had an Xbox One X, I see lesser of a reason for me to upgrade because it's like, other than the faster loading times and other than quick resume, I already had Game Pass, I already had all this stuff.
Yeah.
Looking at the PlayStation side of things, PlayStation is definitely more of a revolution compared to an evolution, which Xbox is much more of an evolution.
Very true.
It's less surprising to me because I've already experienced Game Pass. So I'm already in there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
already have those
You
games.
haven't had that before.
No,
so
that's
you're
what
like, what the
I'm buying games?
PlayStation for me, the controller is the best thing I've seen in years.
Yeah.
As long as companies continue to output that, and it's also PlayStation's first party games. I love both systems. I'm gonna continue to play both systems, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox, I believe on paper, if you do like the math of like the GPU, the CPU, the teraflops, if you get down to the nitty gritty,
For real.
Xbox is a more powerful console.
Yeah.
I will probably buy the majority of my third-party games on Xbox. I will probably I will obviously get my Microsoft games from Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
But the Sony first-party games, I still need a PlayStation for.
True. You're going to have those exclusives on that PlayStation that just won't play, I think, will play the same as it would on an Xbox.
They would, but they're exclusive.
Well, yeah.
Which is why you need...
Yeah.
If you have the money, if you have the funds, you need to get everything at the end of the day, in my opinion.
That's how I feel right now.
But you don't need to get any of this shit today.
No.
There is no game I can point to
reason.
on either system where I'm like, you have to get an Xbox because of Yakuza. You have to get an Xbox because of Gears Tactics. You have to get a PlayStation because of Astrobot. Astrobot's very fucking good.
Oh my god.
But
you might need to get a PlayStation for that.
it's a free game that you're going to get anyways.
Yeah.
That was like a 4-hour experience.
Yeah.
Whereas, eventually PlayStation's going to put out something where it's like, oh my god, you need a PlayStation for this game to get it optimized for PlayStation 5. There will eventually be an Xbox game where you're like, oh my god, I need an X. But I personally, if I'm honest with you guys, you can skip it all for now.
Oh yeah.
When they put out something that's like flagship, like, oh my god, this matters.
Now it's only PS5.
We will let you know, and that will be the time to buy that console.
We'll sound the alarm.
Absolutely.
Let's go buy one.
In the meantime, the best thing out of both systems, if I can tell you what to do, if I were to tell you what to do today, find yourself an Xbox Series S, which neither one of us have played, and you're going to get Game Pass from there. And it's $300 compared to $500.
Amazing. And you're going to have everything, and it's going to run beautifully.
Get yourself a Series S if you can right now, if that's what you're looking for. That's my personal opinion.
That's the way to go.
In 6 months from now, my tune's probably going to change. There'll probably be something where I'm like, you need a PlayStation, you need a Series X for this.
But until then,
you guys do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this show as well as our PlayStation show.
I feel like I sinned today.
Oh my god.
I feel dirty. I'm sorry, PlayStation.
I'm slowly pulling Jenny to the dark side of Xbox. And understanding that not just Xbox is great, but all systems are great.
Yeah.
Whether you're a PlayStation fan, a Nintendo fan, and Xbox fans, there's reason to love everyone.
Yeah, we all love games.
There's reasons to hate certain systems for certain things they do. Nintendo. Nintendo Online. For their services, and things that they do.
True.
But yeah, we love you guys. We hope you follow us on Twitter.
And Instagram.
The Gram.
And the TikToks.
The Talk of the Tick. And the Book of the Face.
And the Patreon.
Please follow us on Patreon.
Don't forget that Patreon.
Juan Bomb, we got you out there, man.
Yes,
Always
Juan.
giving shout outs to
Always.
Juan. That's right. You can get a shout out too. Just gotta support us on Patreon.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Hey.
All
right.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in, checking out our content for the Series X. We love you. We hope you continue to follow us. Jenny, you can be followed at Nerdthusiast Gaming at gmail.com. You can if you wanna stalk her.
Yeah, that'd be creepy.
She has a what is it called? What's that thing you do? The clothing.
Oh, an Etsy.
She has an Etsy, which we're not gonna advertise. But if you want to stalk her, you can find her Etsy somewhere out there.
Hunt me down.
That's
buy
right.
some things.
We're gonna make it a game. It's a meta game. You can find her Etsy.
If you can find
buy
it.
stuff.
Yeah. Do it though. Good luck.
Definitely. But please support us over on Patreon.
Yes.
You can follow me. My personal account is @FromNJ2C. Oh my God. NJ2CA on Twitter. It'll be posted right around here. And yeah. Till next time.
Cool. Thank you guys.
Take care.